Randy, you weren't here. I went to a concert last night. I went and saw Arkells. Are you familiar with that band? Damn it. Why do all of you have such bad taste in music? Jacob, you weren't here at all yesterday. Are you familiar with Arkells? Arkells. I see. Okay. Are you familiar with Arkells, Riley? Yeah. Excellent. Or do you like them? No, Myers, they suck. Oh, well. It was a very, very good concert. But they played a very long time, till like 11:30, and I didn't get home till 1. My usual bedtime is around 11. Anyway, so we are doing this question. So the feet was 0.3048, yes? No, I'm a liar. 1 foot is 0.3048 meters. You get the numbers from the sheet. Now, we always remember, we cross out the 1 because we never need it, and we cross out the meters because we don't want meters, we want feet. And what are we left with? 19 over 0.3048. That is division. So you do that with your calculator, and you get what for an answer? 62.3. Once we get to 0.3, we get to stop. Why? Because it says the nearest foot. So it is 62 feet. Is everybody cool with this? If you do 19 divided by 0.3, you will get 0.3048, you will get 62. If you do 19 divided by 0.3, you will get 57. If you do 19 divided by 0.3048, you will get 62. Do you have a calculator? On your phone? Chances are you just had a thumb issue and hit the wrong button. Oh. You did 19 times 3. No, it's 19 divided by 3. Because the 3 is in the denominator. Thank you, Emily. So that's divide. Okay? Everybody cool? Okay, where not, Brianna? Because you did 19 times 0.3048, not divided by. Cool? Now, it's weird, right? Because it's not pretty numbers like it was with when we were staying within the same system, yes? Right? Like when it was feet to inches, we just did 12. There were no decimals. When it was centimeters to millimeters, we used 10, 100, 1,000, whatever, because it's metric. But when we're going across systems, there's going to be yucky numbers. That's why I show you the first one. And that's why I go out of my way to suggest you guys write it out for the first little while until you get good at it. Okay? Now let's look at the next question. Hannah drove 62 miles. Farron drove 98 kilometers. Who drove further? How many conversions do I need to make here? 1. If I convert either one of these to the other, I know the answer, don't I? So which one are we going to do? I'm going to do both because I'm the math teacher, right? You guys can choose one or the other. I'm going to do Hannah in red. So 62 miles, and I'm going to convert her to kilometers. So I want km, and I want miles. Now I go to my sheet, and I see that 1 mile is 1.609 km. What do I get to cross out every time? The 1 and the thing I don't want, miles. What am I left with? 60. Oh, son of a bee. Oh, look how much disappeared from my notes.
Nothing.
Oh, it all came back. No, I had 1.609 written there. Didn't I? Mm-hmm. I did. 1.609 and I had equals. Now, I cross out that, I cross out that. What math am I doing? Multiply or divide? Multiply. So I got 62 times 1.609. And that gets me what for an answer? Pardon? 99. And I can stop at 99, can't I? Why? Because the question isn't how far did she drive? The question's who drove further, right? So as soon as I get the 99, I know that Hannah drove further. Is everybody cool with that? Now, what if you decided to work that the other way? That's fine. I'll do that in blue. Then I'm going 98 km times, now I want miles, don't I? So the miles goes on top, the km goes on the bottom. The reason I write it out this way is because one of the biggest problems you guys have is when do you multiply, when do you divide, right? Like Brianna, I'm not picking on you, Brianna, but Brianna had all the right numbers in the first one, but she multiplied instead of divided, right? So if you write it out this way, you always know where the numbers go. Miles on top of kilometers. So I go to my data booklet, I find miles and kilometers, and I put the number that's with miles, 1, and I put 1.69 with the kilometers. So when I go back to my notes, miles was 1, kilometers was 1.609. Then I know what I'm doing, because I can cross out the 1, cross out what I don't want, the kilometers, and I end up with 98 over 1.609. And is that multiply or divide? That's divide. Cool? If you write it out, you can't do it wrong. Now, the next question people always ask me is, Mr. Myers, do I have to memorize all this? Of course not. What kind of an animal do you think I am? I will give you this for your test. Because I don't care how well your memory works. I care that you can use the stuff. Understand? Everybody cool? All right. Now, I like that question for a reason. Because let's just say you're driving along, you're minding your own business, and you're in the middle of Montana. And it's 3 a.m. and your wife's asleep in the car. And you are very tired because it's 3 a.m. And you see a road sign that says the next town, which is, believe it or not, named Butte. But it's B-U-T-T-E. So they pronounce it Butte. So you don't say but it's actually a butt. That's how you say that word, B-U-T-T-E. The geographical feature is a butt, but we say Butte because nobody wants to say, that's an ass of rock. So anyway, you're driving to Butte, Montana, and you look up and you see the sign, and the sign says 98. And you look at your gas gauge, and you see your gas gauge is almost empty. But you say to yourself, self, I got 98 kilometers of gas left. Except where are you? In Montana, which is American. And that 98 isn't no kilometers, it's miles. And on that dark, lonesome interstate at 4 a.m, your car goes plug, 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 and you run out of gas. What kind of an idiot would let that happen to them? Not me, let me tell you. It happened to me. Be able to convert miles and kilometers. It's useful. Because many of you are going to drive in America at some point. Remember, they use miles because they're stupid. Them, Liberia, and Burma. Anyway, that's my fun story for the day. It also happened in Canada. Some American landed a plane in Newfoundland and then almost crashed because he forgot the people that filled up the tank didn't convert gallons to liters. And the guy nearly crashed like a 747 full of people because somebody forgot to do math. And this is when one of you always says, when am I ever going to need to do this in real life? For those guys that filled up that plane, there was no retest. They nearly crashed the plane. Fortunately, the pilot saved the day because he read the fuel gauge and said, why the hell are we out of gas? And landed. Sadly for the people on the plane, they had to land in Winnipeg. And if you've ever been to Winnipeg, you know you'd almost rather have been in a plane crash. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Any of you have lost people in plane crashes and or are from Winnipeg? I'm not trying to offend either of you. I'm just making a joke. Although one of my favorite bands does sing a song called I Hate Winnipeg. Ironically, he's from Winnipeg. Alex is 6 foot 2 inches tall. How many of you have gotten your driver's license, your learners? And when you went to get your learners, you had to give them your height, didn't you? Yeah. How'd you give them your height, Al? What'd you say? You gave your height in feet and inches, didn't you? Yeah. And what did they have to do? They converted it. As soon as you give them your height, you're going to tell them their height. I went in, I said, I'm 5'8". And the woman looked down at a little chart and did the conversion. Because we live in Canada, it's got to be metric. Everybody with me? Yes, sir. The next time I went in for my license, I was prepared. Like the goat in Hoodwinked. I was prepared. I gave her my height in centimeters. She said, how tall are you? I said 177. And she still went like this. And then she stopped for a second. You. And I was like, yeah, I just did that. And then she said, what do you weigh? And I said, 88 kilos. And she went, oh, you did it again. And then she said, oh, I got you this time, though. Eye color, brown. Your eyes didn't change color, did they? And I said, no. Then she starts typing hair, brown. And I said, whoa. And she looked up and she was like, oh, yeah, I'm changing that to gray. I know. I'm okay with it. My mother-in-law isn't okay with it. My kids made a me of my mother-in-law on the Wii, and they gave it white hair, and she went ape. I'm a blonde! No, you're not. You're old. And Dutch. So she has super white hair. She used to be blonde like 40 years ago. Let it go, Carla. You're white-haired now. Anyway, so my friend Alex here has to give his height. And Alex wants to flirt with the girl at the licensing place. So Alex doesn't say his height is 6 foot 2 inches. What does Alex say? He gives her his height in centimeters, so she doesn't have to do a conversion. So let's convert that, shall we? What's wrong with that conversion? Do you have anything on your sheet that converts feet and inches to centimeters? No, so what do you got to do? Both. You got to go feet, 6 feet, times 12 to get 72 inches. That's what we did yesterday. Plus we add the 2 inches to get 74 inches, right? That's yesterday's work. Now we do today's work and convert it to metric, yeah? So what do I want? Centimeters. What have I got? Inches. How do I know which number goes where? By writing it out. I go to my sheet and I find that centimeters and inches, the two numbers are 2.54 and 1. The 1 disappears. The inches that I don't want disappears. And I get 74 times 2.54. And how tall is my man Alex? 188. Everybody cool? All right. I'm about to stop talking and let you guys start practicing this. Ah! I didn't mean to do that. Urch. Truck driver. I like this question too because how many of you have been driving on the highway, coming back to Abbotsford from Vancouver, and you drive under that train bridge that's in Langley? Yeah. Next time you do that, have a look at the concrete under that train bridge in Langley. And you will see that it is missing giant chunks of concrete. Know why? Because people don't know how tall their trucks are. It's funny. Because the truck's driving along minding its own business. It's only funny if nobody gets hurt, right? Like, let's be honest here. I'm not making fun of people getting hurt in car crashes. But if you're driving along, stunk, you stop. Because concrete wins. I know this because my wife drove our Hyundai Accent around a concrete telephone pole. Telephone pole won. Accent was a good car, but it wasn't strong enough to beat a telephone pole. It still won. Yeah?
Like the Abbotsford sign, where like the highway is,
Yeah.
in the bridge there was a truck that hit the top of the bridge.
Yeah. It's funny when it happens. Under the Knight Street Bridge in Vancouver, there's a giant water main that takes water over to Richmond. A boat went under there, a barge with a crane. Nobody bothered to measure. The crane hit the water pipe. My wife was in a hotel once. A garbage truck went in to get the dumpster, left its hooks up, hit the water pipe for the whole hotel. No water, underground parking lot, full. It was awesome. The garbage guy's like, oh no. All right, so we got to do this. What do I got to convert? I can convert feet to meters or meters to feet. Does it matter which one I do? No, of course not. If I do meters to feet, 3.5 meters times, I want feet over meters. So 1 and 0.3048. Other way around, I do that every time. 0.3048 over 1. No, I just did it wrong again. God, I'm an idiot today. I hate the afternoon. What do I want? I want feet. Because I'm going meters to feet. What I have is meters. 1 foot is 0.3048 meters. That's right. God, I'm a dummy. What do I get to cross out? What do I get to cross out? The meters and the 1. And I get 3.5 over 0.3048. What's that answer? No. One sec. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. Next week, the boys back in. Sorry, guys. I do play rugby. Now, sorry, Brianna. Okay, so what was that answer? 11.48, which is kind of weird, right? Because normally in Imperial we don't use decimals, yeah? But 11.48 is pretty close to what decimal that we like. 11.5, right? So that's pretty close to 11.5. 0.5 is a half, yeah? What's half a foot? 6 inches. So that is 11 feet 6 inches. That's how big his truck is. How big's the bridge? 11 feet 9 inches. Does his truck fit under it? Yeah, by that much. I know, right? You got it. That's what I mean, right? A couple of years ago in Cincinnati, a big truck went into a tunnel and got stuck. It got halfway through the tunnel, and then the tunnel was like this, right? Because you go down into the tunnel, and then the tunnel levels out. He had a double trailer. So he was so close to being the height that the front of his trailer was on the upswing, the back of his trailer was on the downswing, and he got stuck. And everyone was like, oh my God, how are we going to get this guy's truck out of here? We're going to have to dig it out.
No.
What'd they do?
Deflate the tires.
They deflated the tires and drove. It was a kid that discovered the answer. Some kid was like, why don't you just deflate the tires? And all the grown-ups were like... And then I'm sure a grown-up tried to take credit for it. But, because that's what we do to you guys, right? You come up with an idea and, you say something, I'm going to do this at my house, and your parents start doing it, and then your parents tell somebody else, they say it's a good idea, and your parents say, yeah, I know. At least that's what my parents did to me. I had lots of good ideas that they took for their own. Yes, Brianna? The final answer is, will he fit under the bridge? Yes or no? Yes. Oh, 11.48, which is about 11 foot 6 inches. Now, Jacob, the question is not should the guy drive under it. The question is, will he fit? And technically he will fit. But the chances are that he's going to take a chunk out of that train bridge are pretty good. Everybody with me? All right. I believe I can stop because it doesn't matter how many more of these we do. It's the same thing, right? It would be kind of like, okay, you guys can walk, right? Now go practice walking. There's no need for that. You know how to do it. So I'm going to say, right now in class, I want you to finish up to Mr. Myers driving on his trip of the United States, which is a true story. That's where the whole Montana thing happened. It was on that trip. That is what I expect to see done in class, which means I'm going to put up the answers in class after I've walked around and helped people for a little while. Okay? Everybody good? Homework tonight. Notice that package I gave you had 2 extra sheets on the end of it? That's your homework. If you get it done in class, you have no homework. Okay? Hint, or no, warning, warning, warning. You have a quiz very soon. The quiz will not be on Friday. That would be tomorrow. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about it. You do not have a quiz tomorrow, which means when could you possibly have a quiz? Possibly. Okay? Everybody understand what I mean? You might have a quiz Monday. Got it? Good. Go get your snack. Go to the bathroom. Go. Yes, I was getting there. All right. Everybody good? I'm sorry, what? The extra stuff past the question about me driving through the United States. Yeah, I want the whole thing done by tomorrow's class. If you get it all done in class, you don't got to worry. Yes. Yes. Nobody else ask. Nobody else go to the bathroom until those 2 are back. Yes.
Try again.
Okay. Everyone is good. Carry on. Remember, whole booklet done by tomorrow. How much you do in class is totally up to you. You are going to see the right answers up to 12 by the end of class. Please do. 80.45, you would leave it as 80? Yeah, that's fine. Yep, yep, yep. Rounding and stuff does not, I just, oh, yeah. Sorry. Just, I mean, as long as you're anywhere close, Brianna, then you show me that you know how to do the math. And it comes down to we didn't communicate with each other how many decimal places to do. You know what I mean? I don't even care about that, right? I know that that's something that bugs like other earlier teachers you've had, but it's so not important to the where we're going with math, how well you round something. I don't even want to worry about it. Let's get the methods down and then we'll talk about rounding. Sorry, now I'm all screwed up here. 150 meters to yards. So that was 164 yards, 72 to is 183 centimeters. Ah! Yeah. Yep, please do. Pardon me? Number 9? 8? 8 would have been 1245 km times, I want miles, right? So miles over K, get my numbers, 1 over 1.609. 1 disappears, km disappears, so it's 1245 over 1.609, so it's division. Okay? Sorry. .4 meters. Oh, crap. If you got to the last question, depending on how you converted your hours and minutes and days, your minutes are going to be anywhere from about 13 to about 19. If you have anywhere in there, I'm happy. It just depends on how you converted it. But the 9 days and 6 hours are solid. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, no. Obviously, that's just the amount of days I spent driving. I drove for 222.33 hours over the course of the whole trip. But obviously, it took longer than that because even I, Superman, could not drive 24 hours a day. I did average about 20 hours a day on that trip when we were driving. I have some very funny stories about that trip, which I will share as we go through the year. Not usually straight, but 20 hours in a day on more than one occasion. So that is all of it. But I mean, to be fair, I was only like 28. I was significantly younger.